Hello, Jimmy from GrassRootsPiano. Surprise! I'm outside. It is amazingly warm for the Northeast this time of year. The weather's been up and down, kind of like my music practice. So listen right away, I am going to be talking about music practice, but also applying it through life. Here we are, New Year's Eve. This is the time to reflect, thinking what I can do better as a human being in general, and also as a teacher. This is a very different video, but I do have at least 135 other videos of me at the piano, sometimes not even talking. So maybe that is more of interest for you. That is fine. I want to touch upon some pretty big things about aging and life and all that stuff. And before I go on to do some housekeeping, one, thank you for some emails I've received. There's a few questions coming up. One, I subscribe, but how do I get the notifications? Not everyone's getting notifications. So I'll do a little screenshot here. Just want to click down and then you want to click all. Hopefully that makes sense. I know every platform is a little different and all this technology. I'm outside, so hopefully we enjoy the extra sounds. I know John Cage would, and a lot of many musicians. In fact, I'm digressing already, but Olivier Messiaen, a French musician, amazing composer, he would sit in the woods, and I believe he had perfect pitch, and he would transcribe all the bird sounds, and then if you dare, you would try to play it on piano, like someone like my wife or someone who's been playing piano for 40 years. I'll show the transcripts. It's really intense. So I'm just hearing a crow right now, so we'll leave it at that. All right, let's talk about the first thing. Some of this is going to be directly piano-oriented. Some of it's going to be intense life stuff. It is going to be a long video, so thank you for watching whatever you can watch. A power tip in regards to piano. When you are practicing, always leave the practice session with at least one positive thought. And it could be as simple as, at least I played today. I think that's really important. Or I got the scale down better with my left hand. Any little positive thought will be a direct impact on how you decide to improve and continue to improve. So this video is about really the legacy that I'm planning to leave for my son. I'm recording this because he will have children someday, and I probably won't meet them. I'm an adoptive father. So we're late bloomers. He's only 10. I love him very much. He keeps me going. So that's a side note, but that's another reason why I'm doing this. There's been a lot of things on my mind lately in regards to aging and music and everything else. All right, so aging and time, you know, it's an interesting animal, isn't it? There's so much stress as we age. Our bodies will change and break down. And I know some of you have already mentioned, like, you're not that old. I'm approaching my mid-50s, and not to be dark, but statistically, where I live in this country, the average age in this state is between 73 to 78. So maybe I have 20 years left. Maybe if I continue to stay healthy and make good choices, maybe my final bar will be at measure 80. But I just want to touch upon, too, that whether you're 40 or 50 or 60, we don't know how much time we have left. And I do think everything I'm speaking about is a direct relation with my relationship with music. As a music lover my whole life, a music educator my whole life, that's how I've made money. I have just found a very special connection with humanity and sensitivity and all that. So the aging and time, it's pretty intense. Excuse me. I wanted to address about, you know, our bodies breaking down, neck and back, reading music, and I'm going to touch upon that in lessons, how you can raise your music stand, arms. There's a lot of exercises we can do, and that's the benefit. You have to learn about your body. You have to understand that there's going to be days where it's just cranky. And my left arm was cranky yesterday, so I did my specialty S&S, slow, yes, it's appropriate, S&S, slow and soft, and my left hand felt better. It's just an occupational hazard, it's editing videos, it's life. I don't let grumpy body parts bring me down too much, although I have. One of my newer subscribers knows I got a hip replacement about 3 years ago. I was just born with bad hips, and there were times where just sitting at the bench was awful, or in a car. We're only human, but you just have to breathe through it and try your best. So there's a lot about aging and time, but one of the things that I've decided to take upon me in my brain is adapting calmness. And when I think about aging and time, I capitalize on time. I capitalize on time as an educator and what I've learned, hearing notes, the beauty of just sticking with things. And time also brings wisdom, and the wisdom is key. And when we talk about time, I've had conversations since I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, and this channel is about 2 years old. I've had other piano channels that failed, just live and learn. But I've had conversations through the years with people over the internet. One of them I'll never forget. Jim, I'm 70. I don't have much time left. I want to play boogie woogie piano. I don't want to do the scales. And I completely get that. I understand. So I always equivalent it to, I need to lose some weight. And I guess there's pills, I guess there's surgeries, but there's also behavioral management. And if you just breathe into your discipline that we've learned over years as adults, we can make big strides in our learning. I have a saying, if you learn slow, you'll end up learning faster. If you learn slowly, you'll learn faster, meaning if you're playing slowly, give yourself a time. When we have a sense of urgency, there can be a panic. And when there's a panic, it doesn't help out anybody because we Swiss cheese our learning, we're not thinking clearly. So just do it like this. If you wake up well rested and if you get to the piano, you'll be fresher. You'll get notes faster. That's a conversation I'm going to get into because no, I don't think someone should practice just scales 3 hours a day and then sight reading. And I know some of us now are empty nesters and you might have a lot of time. I don't. Many of us don't. Checking my mic. I don't want it to fall. We have to think about how we want to cycle our time. And I do think my practice guide talks about that. I built that a while ago, but I think I touched upon that, and I have some other things I want to share. But adapt calmness. Adapt if you learn something new in that practice session. It's going to be positive, like I said, but you know what's going to happen? You're going to want to go back to the piano bench. When we're learning a language, it's practice. It's trying to do it over and over again. I understand about the deterioration of mind and body. The eyes, the vision goes, and there's genetics involved, of course. I'm lucky, my ears are pretty good. I did get COVID once, and I couldn't hear for, I don't know, the real COVID, when it first came out. I couldn't hear for a while. That was kind of nerve-wracking. But I digress. When I'm getting older too, we lose our thoughts. But all of this, music can help us. It can help us stay sharp, be analytical. And, you know, some people will say, well, I'm staying sharp, Jim, but I'm just not playing piano well. Chances are you're just not practicing the best you could. You're probably playing too fast. You're probably playing pieces that you aren't ready to do yet. And then we go back to, well, I don't have that much time. I don't know about you, but if I take my time and remain calm and fulfill goals, those small wins end up being bigger goals, bigger achievements down the road. I never plan to concertize. I've never planned to drop links of me playing Rachmaninoff pieces. That doesn't give me happiness. I love it. I love listening to it. It's also not my style. So that's another thing, like, where do we want to use our time? How do we want to use our time and bring happiness? And that will, again, go back into piano playing. But the deterioration of mind and body is one thing, but the next part of this video, and I did script it out, it gets pretty intense. It's also the spirit. So right now, I'm sure there's some people watching this that are a lot older than me, and if you're still listening to me, that's awesome. Thank you, but it's kind of you. I think it's important to share this. Our lives get layered, and it can get layered through positivity and unfortunately through negativity. We're all going to have challenges, some more than others. I lost my parents fairly when I was pretty young. I think I was an orphan by 30, and that was intense. Or if you're a teacher, for a long time and you teach through a pandemic and now there's school shootings, or you're a teacher and you have piano students and there's dozens of them that don't practice, that can do something to your spirit. It can, and it affects people in different ways. And some, in this case, piano teachers, if they went to a conservatory, university, and they might have done competitions, sometimes their passion is so hard to shift gears, it's really hard to understand the mainstream person. And that gets tough, and the spirit can get affected. If you layer decades of work-life balance and you're tired, yeah, when you go to the piano, you want to improve, you want to do better. It's something we have to really be in touch with, because I do think we can find positivity no matter what. You just have to sit in that moment and create it. And it could be listening to music. It could be playing a favorite piano piece. For me, it is. I'll even sit down, I have a little electronic drum set, 5 minutes, and I'll play, and it's, wow, the dopamine, you know, or play, what was I doing yesterday? I was working on an arrangement of a secret piece kind of, and just adding major seventh chords, making these sparkly sounds gives a lot of amazing dopamine releases, at least for me, but I'm wondering if you could relate. The next part I wanted to mention is I had a situation that happened to me as a kid, and don't worry, it's an intense story, and I'm kind of just freestyling here. But I'm bringing it up because I didn't realize about this story until my mid-50s. I had something that happened to me not too long ago that I don't want to talk about. It's too dark. Everyone's fine. My family's great. But I remember I was taking a walk, and I thought about years ago when I was about 10 years old. I lived outside of Boston, and I was obsessed with this certain snare drum, and I mowed lawns, and I would go into many of the music stores that surrounded the New England Conservatory and Berklee College of Music, and I would look at all the different keyboards and the synthesizers. You better believe it, we had some really good synthesizers in the 80s. Oh my gosh. And that's one thing right now. Music experience, timelessness, it's beautiful how it connects. So anyway, there was this drum I obsessed on, and I saved up money. We didn't have much, so I knew I couldn't spend this money on the drum, but maybe I did. So what I did is I got a ride. I lived in a surrounding town where I couldn't get transport. I was able to get a ride into the bus station. From the bus station, I took the train, and here it is. I went and bought the snare drum. And when I got back, I had to take the train, then the bus, and the last stop, I had about 16 miles to walk to my house, maybe even 18. And it got dark out. I decided to take a shortcut. I went through the woods. I'm carrying a snare drum. I'm 10 years old. It was a really big drum too, and heavy. My arms were so tired. Maybe some of you are like, what's this guy talking about? Walking in the woods with a snare drum. Hear me out. I never thought about this until later in my life. I had so much passion. I had so much joy of getting this shiny object, yes, but this instrument, this drum. I also wanted to buy the keyboard, but it wouldn't work that same day. I realized when I was going through some harder things in my life, I said, that passion, I wasn't taught that. I had so much joy. Who would be willing to hold a box with a pretty heavy drum, pretty heavy for a young kid, and walk in the dark with this box? And I was so excited. I was excited for months. And I lived in an apartment, and I would sometimes leave the apartment and go across the street where there's a woods park, and I'd practice in the woods. And I lived in New England. It was cold out. What am I getting at here? Never forget about, in my case, the little boy in the snare drum. Never forget about the joy that I found through music. Never forget, if you're having a hard day, a hard week, a hard month, try to get through it. Think about some sort of passion that gave you life, that gave you so much joy. Maybe it's not a snare drum for you. Maybe it was, I don't know, a pet. Maybe it was your knitting. Maybe some of you now, you have a friend that just unfortunately battled cancer and they're doing okay, but it was really tough and you helped them through that. And now you guys are going to learn piano together or something. If you can kind of connect of joy through your adult years, it will be good, because when you start learning an instrument, it's hard, it's a lot of work. And if you stay consistent and positive, you'll get through the journeys. You will appreciate it. Hopefully that was worth sharing. I think it will be worth sharing for some people. Maybe my son will look at this. I have 3 other things to share. It's pretty easy. Hopefully the lighting's okay. One of them is, if you can try to have a simple life, you'll be a better learner. I joke with some of my friends, I love napping when I get to. And when I nap, I wake up, I'm clearer. Some can't nap, my son can't. My wife doesn't like to. Siesta, we got in Europe, right? People are looking at me, by the way, but that's fine. I'm just talking to a camera. It's normal for me at this point. But simple life, better learner. Try to get any complexities out of your life. And that can be basic distractions. How many apps do we need? How much phone time do we need? Think of a journal. Think about goals. If you can, simplify. Cut back on things. I've just found it very helpful when I'm trying to really make gains with learning new chords, learning how to play melodies better on the piano and all that stuff. Another thing is, and I know this isn't for everybody, but I know doctors suggest it, exercise. I do a good amount of walking, especially with my fake hip, but I'm always doing this with my arms. I'm always moving in the different directions, because for 53 years, we're always going this way. And I have a thought about that mindset about going just that way. If you can move in different ways, get fresh air, it's helped my practicing tremendously. And the other thing is, before I go, if any of this is beneficial, let me know. I might make some videos like this from time to time. I got pretty emotional talking about the stuff I went through, even though I didn't bring anything up, but thinking about how music gave me a timeless experience, about the little boy and the snare drum. So you never know where your passions will bring you. Even songs that you want to play, it might remind you of your high school years, I don't know, or something. Life is not a rehearsal, so it's best to try your best. Life is not a rehearsal. It's important to just try your best and accept that we're gonna have wrong notes when we learn. We're gonna not play the best, but if we're trying and staying positive, you will get better. Guaranteed. And I don't think we should be in competition with an amazing person on YouTube, even if they're an everyday person. If they've been playing piano for 40 years, it's just not our time to do that. When I used to cycle, I never compared myself to an amazing cyclist. You just can't. Or I like cooking. I'm not going to compare myself to a chef. But what I can do is improve and learn. And when you get that piece down that you want to play, or you're improvising a little bit, it's awesome. It's well worth it. I didn't touch upon everything, but it's been a long enough video. I wish everyone Happy New Year. If you're still with me, I am planning to create a playlist, a check-in for beginners, adult beginners, on scales, basic techniques, and going live, see how you're doing. And a shout out to David and Nancy. Thank you so much for supporting my business. It is a business, but I'm a low-key guy. I want to offer the value before anything else, because you need to be happy at the piano bench or a stool, but hopefully something adjustable. Happy New Year. I'll see everyone in 2025. I should be wiser, right?